chosen ones, right? I'm just going to give you what I believe to be chosen, while I still have time to do so on this earth, okay? A lot of people, will come on YouTube and they'll say, I'm a chosen one, and be. They very well may be. This is the definition of it, though. This is what I believe, okay? In the Bible, Jesus was persecuted. He was chosen by, the forces of the world to be the one who was chosen to be persecuted. He didn't really do anything wrong to anybody. He walked his path and he kept faith in Father God, And you might feel the same way too. You might be someone who the world does not understand. You might be misunderstood by the world. You might look at someone's life and say, that person hasn't really done anything wrong to anyone. It's just that society may have found that the way that this person does things, they don't accept. And so you're chosen to be persecuted against. You're chosen to be someone who has a hard path, someone who has to walk alone, because society won't accept you. I'm someone who fought to try to help in the best way that I could, with the means that I could get, the resources that I could get. I tried to help my family, and they may not feel that I helped the best way that I could. I tried to show people what I knew about being a truck driver and driving and traveling and taking photos and videos and seeing different places in the world. But I chose to do it that way, and as a result, the world decided that I should be someone who should be attacked, and have to go it on my own, Many people want me to come into the fold, join the group, and I understand that is a correct opinion. It is. Something in my soul, though, made me try and do things my way, made me try and do things in a generous and kind way. And people who do know me, who actually know me, who've asked me for things, I helped out as much as I could, with the resources that I had. I tried to help people. I tried to, even just say like a positive word, or if I saw someone, I would see, a positive attribute about them, and I would, try to say something kind, to build them up. And, sometimes that means that the world will not accept you. That's what it means. It's hard not to fit in. It's hard to be different. It really is. To try and do things differently against the grain. It makes people question that, why are you doing it that way? Why are you not just doing it like everybody else? And it's because your soul has told you, you feel it in your spirit, that this is your path that you must walk. We all have our paths to walk, and it is easier to join some sort of group. It is. But that doesn't mean you don't have God, or you don't see God, or you don't walk with God, or you don't strive for peace or the right things. Maybe you just don't do things the way that people see that they should be done. Maybe you're ahead of your time. Maybe you're just someone who had bad luck or made bad decisions. Maybe you're someone who just made good decisions but at a bad time. And if you feel that you're a chosen person, someone who's here to, spread love and joy, you have to understand that when you do, people may not see it, and sometimes you might be giving to the wrong people, people who don't appreciate it, but you still, in your heart, have the desire to give and show love and care, for people. And you try to help out the best way that you can. Even you may not be the best candidate. Maybe you're not the best looking, or the wealthiest, or the strongest, or you don't have a complexion or facial features that people want, You still go forward and you help in the way that you can. Because the truth is that the people who give, we all give, But sometimes it's people who give just a little bit that nobody sees, no one gets credit for. You're not looking for people to give you credit for it. You're just trying to help in the way that you saw fit. And you may be judged for that. You might be judged for the way that you did things. You may be judged because society may not like the way you've made your moves or your actions, or the choices that you made, or the risks that you took. They may not understand it. And we all have to pay our consequences, including me, whether I have to pay with health, or, I have financial burdens that I need to pay off. But I don't regret anything that I did. I tried to help people. I did. I may have went about it in a lot of people don't agree with, but I chose my own way to do it. And, we all have to stand by our actions and our decisions in life. So if you feel that you're someone who's chosen, you probably do meet a lot of adversity, because you're probably an individual. You might be a trailblazer. You might be someone who sees the world a little bit differently than everybody else. And you might make choices that others don't accept. But you also have to understand, if you feel that you're a chosen person, if you feel that you are, that you're probably someone who's actually a really kind and generous person, just maybe misunderstood. Maybe your words don't come out right. Maybe you don't have the best social skill. Maybe you're just afraid, sometimes we feel like the person that you see that should be confident and strong, really is battling with things, underneath the surface. Robin Williams was like that. Famous comedian, very funny guy, but he struggled with a lot of things behind the scenes. He did. And, the best thing that you can do is just shine your light, and it doesn't matter if you have 1 view, 5 views, no views. Even if it's just you interacting with one person on one day, shine your light the best way that you can. And it doesn't matter if people see it. It doesn't matter if people don't understand it or why you did it. Just know that, when people really look at you, like they look at Jesus in the Bible, Jesus didn't really do anything wrong to anybody, He was just spreading love in his own way, helping the world and just seeing the good in people and helping anyone who came up in it. Really, that's what he did. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm not saying anything like that, no. I'm just a person, just like the rest of you. We have the same powers. We're born into this world all the same. We leave it all the same, But for those of you who try to make it, and meet adversity, whether it's on YouTube in your everyday life, and, you're just met with adversity, all along the way, then yeah, you might be a chosen person. It's hard being an individual. It's hard to do things your own way. And that you've asked for help and you've asked people to guide you, but they don't really want to help, and you have to understand that's part of the path. It's like, well, that's my path. I've chosen to be, shunned or pushed aside, chosen to be left out, or selected to be left out, or chosen to be persecuted. And that's a very difficult path for many people to walk, I never claimed to be perfect. I never claimed to be a genius or, have all the ideas or all the answers. I tried the best that I could with what I had. And, my successes are my failures. My failures are my successes. But that's what it is. You should really try, and this is my opinion, to be the best you that you can be. And people may not understand, I don't like, the way he does this. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he combs his hair. Why doesn't he dress like this? Why doesn't he buy that? Why doesn't he, a lot of them look at you like that. Like, why? Why are you like that? Why are you trying to do it that way? Why are you trying to be different? And it's because it's just within you, It is. People call me crazy a lot, They do. People call me crazy a lot. They say I'm crazy. A lot of people do. In order to shed some light in the darkness, you have to be willing to engage in the darkness a little bit. You do. You have to be light and dark to, spiritually reach some people, or try to. And that might be your path. Your path might be to try to reach people who are, in the dark. And in doing that, you may have to go into the dark yourself to try to, show somebody, hey, there's good in you, and you might see the good in me or you might see the bad in me. It all depends on how you see, me, and what else you might interact with. But I tried to see the good in people, and I, maybe unfortunately, at least the world thinks so, I tried to see the good in bad people. I do. Um, you know, I tried to share whatever knowledge I have or, spread some positivity, but a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people just see the people that I engaged with and hung out with, and the things that I did, and the places that I was. I was tricked in a lot of ways too. Engaged in things that I didn't realize, like, oh, well, I didn't realize this was what was going. I didn't. But I still stayed and I tried to fight and make some sort of difference. And, in a lot of ways that was to my own detriment. But I tried, and you should all try the best that you can, because we're all subject to adversity, some more than others, but, that's part of making a change, It's very easy to just go with the current. It is. It's probably an easier life. Just, take the advice and just do it the way that people tell you to do. But some of us have that conviction, to try and difference in our own way, walk our own path. And, we all end up leaving this world anyway, so it's okay if, you know, you meet an unfortunate end, or everyone comes against you, or people just want to stop you or don't want to see you have joy or happiness. It's okay, because you chose to try and make the world different. That's what makes the world great, and that's where change comes from. It comes from people who dared to try and do something differently, try to do it a different way. Maybe people just don't see it yet. Pablo Picasso is probably one of the most famous painters, in world history. And he did not receive any of the love and accolades and financial blessings that his paintings get now. When he was alive, he didn't. But, he still made all those paintings. And that's a really, really tough path to walk for a lot of people, is to do something and just know that nobody sees like your vision. Nobody sees like what you're doing. Nobody wants to come help. Nobody wants to support. But when he's gone, everyone's like, these are amazing. These are great. These paintings have $1 million values, And sometimes that's the way life is, for some of us. Trying to fight, in a world that doesn't want to understand. You're probably misunderstood. And that's okay, because the world needs misunderstood people. It balances things out. Those people usually bring about change, I will say that, maybe I should have sought out more like-minded people and, to help support me in my vision. I waited too long. Maybe it's not too late. But it is tough. And, I am getting ready to lay down. I'm going to go to sleep. But, just don't give up, on what you were trying to do or what you were hoping people would see, even if they don't see it, what you tried to share, how you tried to help. And don't let people take away your voice or your freedom of speech. If they mess with your YouTube channel, if they try to restrict you or block you, and say what you know is the truth. You can find 1,000 people who will tell you lies and tell you what you want to hear, but you'll find that one person who will just tell you the truth, tell you like it is, and just speak candidly and straightforward with you, no BS, just tell you like how it is, how they see it. And that's a rare trait, even if the world doesn't see it. If you see something and it's on your heart and you know it to be true, you got to say it, for us sayers, people out there who just say the truth. And if you do, people are probably going to find the negative aspects of your life and bring it to the light to tear you down. Because, the truth isn't how money is made, The world's built on lies, and disruption and misdirection, That's what gets people wealthy. And I've tried my best in my own way to do my own thing. And You should too. And don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about what people think, because you can do everything by the book and people will still judge you. You can do everything wrong, people still judge you. It's not other individuals' job to judge you. It's your job to do what you feel is right. The outcome is the outcome. That's in God's hands. You don't control that. I wish more people had maybe seen the better side of me. I do. I wish more people had, given me more time to work in my own little crazy way. The funny thing about people calling you crazy is that depends how you view it. You could be crazy or you could be eccentric. Eccentric people, change the world. Crazy people change the world too. And, in this process that I've gone through in the past 2 or 3 years of my life, I've really realized that God was trying to show me that I need to stop worrying about what people think. Of course they're going to address your failures and your missteps and your mistakes. Of course they are. That's the way the world is, especially how people love to get on social media and look at your missteps and your mistakes. What I didn't realize is that people would, spread lies and tear you down and try and make you look a certain way while you're trying to just do your own thing, do your flow, And when I say that, I'm not talking about harming people or being violent or having some sort of crazy plan. No. What I'm talking about is, you standing up for yourself and standing up for others and doing what you believe is right, And who cares if people don't see it? You see the good that you did, if it was just a little bit. You see the good that you did. You see the path that you walked. You know the challenges that you overcame. That's what life's about. It's not about what everybody else thinks or believes. The Bible says, in every way, a man is right in his own eyes. Decisions that you make, the Lord ponders the heart. And I feel that's what it is too. I feel like I have a good heart and people don't see it. I feel that sometimes the world tries to trigger us into a reaction so people can say, see, look, and record that one bad moment, record that moment where maybe you did something that we weren't proud of, and people like to focus on that, especially in the modern world. But overall, I know that I have a good heart, and I tried to help. I miss my daughter a lot. I really do. I miss my daughter a lot. A lot of people believe I mishandled the situation with my daughter. I was only thinking about, making sure that we had enough to get by. I was. I just wanted to make sure we had enough. I miss my ex-wife too. I miss our conversations and our talks. I do. They don't see it as, I saw it. And that's okay. And I don't judge them. I'm not mad at them at all. I love them all. And all the good things that I said and good deeds I did and all the bad words I said and bad deeds that I did, My life, light and dark. There are dark aspects of my life, and I try to pull from the dark periods of my life and things that I've done in my life and try to turn it into a positive, inspire people. But, you wouldn't want to sail across the ocean with a captain who hasn't been in rough seas, right? You wouldn't want to fly up with an airline pilot who, doesn't have 40 years of flight experience plus military time, right? You want that person who's, been through it. And that's what the world needs. The world needs more people who've been through it, to teach. In hip-hop, like in rap, like a lot of people say, oh, you're too old to rap. But in reality, if you think about it, you should be listening to the older rappers because they're the ones who've, been through it. Younger rapper teach you, you know what I mean? What can they really, and the world is the same way. We need to listen to more people who have been through adversity and struggle and done things and made missteps in their life, made mistakes, and they can teach you about that path. It's hey, I went down that path and this is what I encountered down there. Now, you might see me as someone like, oh, you engaged in that, but I'm like, no, no, no. Now to tell you about that path that I went down, that I survived, maybe I can inspire you to not go down that path. We need more people like that, more people who aren't interested in just getting views and money and really sharing their life message and experience to try and save people, like save people from it, you know? Some people are like, oh, I believe you did that, you went down that path, but I'm like, at the same time, someone has to go down that path to tell you what's down there, to tell you the truth and the reality of it. Someone has to make those mistakes so they can get the other side and say, hey, let me explain to you what I learned from making those missteps and those mistakes. Someone has to do that and share that message. We need more people like that. Everybody just wants the finished product. We just want the finished. Oh, you're perfect. You don't have any trauma. Nothing bad happened to you. Your life is perfect. You're like, oh, great, that's what we want. But I'm like, there's a lot to learn from people who have lived rough and lives full of struggle and pain, hardship, and missteps, and survived it. Eventually, we all reach our turning point, whether it's death or we just say, hey, it's time for me to give back and share what I've learned, And I hope, for those of you out there who are going through the same things that I've gone through or been through, don't forget at the end to tell your story. People need to hear it. People need to hear what you've been through. A lot of people don't want to take those risks or step too far out in the world. They just want to, to the nest. They don't want to go out there and experience the dangerous things, I've been shot at. A couple people tried to kill me. I've gotten involved in things that I never thought I would get involved in. And I tried to, get the positive out of it. And I ended up getting away with it. Not getting away with it, getting away from it. And I'm still, dealing with burdens now and things that I've done in the past that, I still have to clear up in my life. But it doesn't mean it was a mistake. It means that you tried something and you failed. We live in a world now where everybody only wants to listen to people who tried something and succeeded at it. But a lot of us tried things and we failed. And that message needs to be shared too, to help the next person that comes along who's thinking about going that way. Maybe your failure will be the thing that inspires them. Oh, I didn't realize that. That guy went through that and it took him down a terrible, terrible path in life. But his story really opened my eyes more than the person who went down and had the success. You understand? It's getting late, guys. I gotta go to sleep, I like talking a lot late. I don't know why. I just like talking. But anyone who supported me and been with me on this channel, I appreciate it. To my daughter, I miss you. I do. It might seem like I do, but I do. I tried to make some moves, to bring us some more finances, and it didn't work out. To my ex-wife, I apologize for all the pain and strife that I put you through. And my family, if you don't understand me or you don't see me for who I am or feel that, I had more coming up, I understand. I get it, I understand. And, for those of you out who know that I do have love for one person, I have love in my heart, It's not about whether or not I receive that love from a person. It's the fact that I understand and I know that I tried to do something that I felt was right. I did. I tried. I tried to, have and share love with somebody, and it didn't work out, But I tried, though. And that's what life is all about, is like, you can't be afraid to have a bad ending. You can't really be concerned about the outcome. You have to live, and you have to try it. You have to go for what you feel right. And you have to be able to open up your heart and your mind and your spirit, and knowing that somebody might throw 10 swords right up in there, but you tried, you were it. You did what you felt was right in your heart and your soul, and it's okay to do that. Don't be afraid to do it, because it's probably going to take you down the best path that you've ever been in your life, and it's going to give you some amazing knowledge and feedback and experiences to share. But everyone's so scared now. We just want to watch somebody make the video about them doing it. It's like, okay, I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get hurt. But I'm like, go out there and try it. Take the risks. You know, you should. And don't be scared that, oh, well, it didn't work out for you, so it's not going to work out for me. No, it might work out for you. Don't be scared. The world is full of adversity and scary things, but we need more people to try and make changes. And I tried the best that I could. I did. I searched for the answers, and a lot of them I didn't find. I looked for the love in the people that I thought would reciprocate, and I didn't get it back. I made moves that I thought would bring me success in finances, and they didn't. And people are going to judge me for that. For trying to do things the best way I can. You have to remember, not all of us are geniuses. Not all of us are smart enough. Not all of us are equipped with the tools and the knowledge. But we have to try. We all have to try. Don't give up, okay? I gotta go to sleep, guys. I'm really tired. I gotta go to sleep. And I gotta make it back. And if you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I do. I understand that. I'm glad that you all have opinions about me. I really am. I'm glad. Because I am who I am, you know. And just the sum of the experiences I've been through in the world. And every day I get more and more okay with that, you know. Understanding that my life and my choices is my life. And it's unique in that way. And that's the blessing and the miracle. Your life is your life. And your choices. You shouldn't be ashamed of them. You did the best that you can do. And I gave all that I had. I really gave everything. And if others don't see it that way, that's fine, but I really did give all that I had. And I wish things had worked out differently. But, you know, the plan. That wasn't the plan. I should go to sleep, guys, okay? I'll see you later.